Hello and welcome to Kerry's Cards. Today's little video I'm going to show you how to make a lovely little box. Not quite so little if you see the size of my hand in comparison. It measures approximately just over 8 inches by 5.5 inches in length and depth, and is 1.5 inches deep. The box I'm showing you today is this one, but the measurements, the way we build the box, you can tweak it so that you have whatever depth you want there, but you're still using 2 pieces of A4 paper. I'm going to be using the Snailed It paper range. This one's been made with here. The other box, another box I've made using the same principle, but this one is 2.5 inches deep. Again, using the Snailed It papers with Bermuda Bay and Blushing Bride. Put those to one side. So here's our papers. I'm going to use 2 pieces of A4 Blushing Bride and 1 piece of Bermuda Bay A4. But we also need some patterned paper, and I'm choosing to do, my daughters have asked me to use this one again, so I'm going to use the same one as for the smaller box that we had here, but make a big flat one for you instead. So let's pop all these to one side and let's get crafting. On this side here I've popped the instructions for what I call a large flat box, and we'll go through step by step. So the first thing that we need is our trimmer or a score pad. And we're going to take the 2 base layers, base colours, so the 2 pieces of A4. And on this one, we are going to score using our scorer, which is the light coloured blade. Let's come down just a tad so you can see the light coloured blade there. And we're going to score at 1.5 inches on each side of the card. And turn around again, so it's 1.5 inches done on each side. Take our second piece of A4 and do exactly the same on this one as well. Turn it round. Now remember, because we're making a box, a 3D project, you need to make sure you have a bone folder or something similar that will enable you to fold all your score lines so that they're nice and sharp. So there we have our 2 pieces of A4 paper. Put that to one side. Get our little scissors, and we're going to start by making the base of the box. And so where we've got our lines, we're going to cut up to the score lines on one side, turn it around 180 degrees and do exactly the same on the other side. Then the other thing I do is make a little slither, so that what happens by doing this is it makes it a nice, a neater box when you come to fold the sides in and glue them. So I'm just taking a thin slither off each of the little tabs that we generated. So not much. Then we'll get our bone folder and fold and then use the bone folder to flatten and score, or sharpen the score lines that we've already done. All the way around, and then again, because it's a 3D project, make sure we do it the opposite way as well, because that will make sure that it tidies up and tightens each of the score lines. Okay, this is the basis of our box. Now we need some Tombow glue. I like Tombow glue. You can use double-sided tape if you like for speed, but I like to use the Tombow glue because it's a nice wet glue and it still slides. So just fold the corners down, and these two pieces here are going to bend up and go on the inside of the box like that. So we're going to put some glue here. On this side. And lift it up and make sure that the edges match or meet there, and hold it together just so until it feels like it's not going to move. And do the same on this side. Square it up. Okay, and then we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Get your glue. And fold it up. And make sure the lines are nice and tight. And then do the same on the last one. Now this size box would be great for putting a couple of bars of chocolate in as a gift, or a nice scarf if you're buying it for rent. I've got my fingers, right mess. The one thing with wet glue, you can get a bit messy. Okay, so that is the base of the box. Now we're going to create the lid of the box using the second piece of A4 card. So this time we are going to cut our corners like we did last time, but we're going to angle it in this way here and cut off this corner here. Do the same on this side, so angle it in slightly and then cut off the corner on that one. Turn it around. I'm going to make the top of the box, the front of the box lid, by cutting just up the sides like we did on the base, and again make the little slithers that we have for each corner. Clear the bits out the way. Use our bone folder again, bits of glue. Use our bone folder to go around and sharpen each of the edges again. And the opposite direction. It's quite important with this one that you do the opposite side, because this is going to be the pivot or the hinged lid that we're creating on the box. So we'll create the top of the box, again using our Tombow glue, and each of the two sides flip them over. Then bring them up, match them up like we did for the base. Press and hold. I do have some wooden pegs that I use sometimes to hold them in place, but fingers work just as well. So the next bit we're going to do is attach the two pieces together. You can choose to either pop it onto the back of the box, or you can go inside the box. I prefer to go on the back of the box because it gives it a neater finish on the top there. So again, using your Tombow glue, and make sure you've got lots of this because this is the bit that's going to be opened and closed. And the last thing you want is for it to come off. So you're going to put the glue on the inside of the box lid to attach it. And so pop the top of the box on the box and then just bring that down on top. So you're creating a whole square box. And then once you know it's taken, open it slightly and then just give it a good firm press. Now if you use double-sided sticky tape, that would almost be instantaneous, which is why it's a good idea to put the top of the box on top and then clip this or glue this onto the back. So that is the basis of your box. Now I also pop on the front of my boxes a little circular punch here. Now you can do this to start with now if you wanted, using a little circle punch. I use the 3/4 inch punch up there, but I wait until I've actually finished decorating it, so it looks a little bit more finished on the front. So we'll pop this to one side, and then we'll start getting and prepping all the card pieces that we need to decorate the box. So my next layer I'm going to use, if you just wanted to do one layer of designer series paper, for example, here's another box I've made. I've just used here the designer series paper and no card layer, no three layers. So this one's got the base card, the yellow, and then the designer series paper. This one is just the designer series paper. So the measurements here depends on what stage you want to go to. We're going to do all of them today. So I'm going to first cut the card stock, again using my trimmer. That way. So I know that it needs to be 8.5 inches, and that's just shy. That's too small. It's not quite wide enough for a piece of A4 paper card. So you need to turn it lengthways and cut at 8.5 inches. Then, so this is going to be cutting, we're making this bit here, and we need that to be 8.5 by 5 inches wide. Yeah, 8.5 by 5, and this is going to be the top. So that's our top layer. And then we need two 8.5 by 1 1/4. So these next ones we're going to be making for the sides, the long sides of the box, need to be 1 1/4 inch wide. So we already know that this is 8.5 inches. So that's for the front, and 1 1/4, and that one is for the back. Then we take our other piece of card that was left over, and we need this to be 5 inches wide, because that's the width or the depth of the box. And again, these are going to be 1 1/4 inch deep. So I've taken 1/4 inch off the depth of the box. So the box size, remember when we went around the A4, we did them at 1.5 inches deep. So to create the stepped effect, I go down by 1/4 inch. Then we've got some spare pieces left. Then we get to our designer series paper, and we need to cut these quite, and you have to think about the pattern on this one. Now I know my pattern is, there is a pattern, it's up the right way. If, for example, I was to do, let's get another piece of card that isn't quite so pattern. This one, for example, it doesn't really matter which way you cut the paper on this one, because it's all the same whichever way you turn it. Similarly, this one, it would be important which way your paper was running, because you wouldn't want your box, you want your top like that, but you wouldn't want the sides of the box to be going down like that. You'd want them to all go round on the sides. I hope that makes sense. So we know that we need this to be 8 1/4. There's one. And it needs to be 4 3/4 for the top piece. And then let's do the sides again, so we can keep it this way because the sides are the same length, and this time we're cutting at 1 inch strips. And again, 1 inch strip. And now we want to turn the side around, so I want to make sure that my pattern is this way on the edge of the box. So the first thing I need to do is cut it at 4 3/4 and turn it round and cut at 1 inch. And 1 inch. Okay. Then we need our Tombow glue to start sticking everything together. That's one. I like using Tombow because you can make sure that it's lined up slightly, because it still moves a little bit. I say that every time I make a video. Whereas the double-sided for Swede is great, but you've got to make sure that you're confident to pop it down the right place to start with, because it's very difficult to get off once it's down. There we go. And then last front piece or back piece. And then let's do the top of the box. The colours on this box are Blushing Bride and Bermuda Bay, with a little bit of Real Red, and I think it's Daffodil Delight. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the sides of the box on. Long one. Okay. Now, because we're doing the, you can see here where the back joins, there and there where we've put the angles, but because we're popping this back decorative strip on, it won't be quite so obvious. And then the last one. Okay, there we have the box. So I get find the front of the box. Oh, not that one, this side. And then I'm going to get my 3/4 inch punch and pop that. So that then makes it slightly more obvious how to open the box. Now, before we put the top on, I'm going to actually create a fake bow on the top. So you can see, so instead of it going all the way around the box, I've literally just done it onto the top part. So it makes it look like it's all there. So I get my ribbon. I'm using the Blushing Bride satin metallic ribbon that's in the current catalogue. Wrap it round once, so I know that that's one length that I need. Wrap it round again. That's 2 lengths I need. So that'll cover both sides, and then add a little bit extra for being able to tie the bow. So we get our ribbon, find its halfway point. Once you've got halfway, pop it into the middle, bend it over, twist it round. Try and make sure that the glitter is still on the top, shown on the top, so when you turn it over, you have the glitter side. If your ribbon has 2 colours, like this one does. So, and then I do what I call bunny ears to make the bow. So 1, 2, and then fold them over on top of one another and pull. And then you can spend a long time tidying up if you like. I'm going to pop that one so it comes around, so you can loosen it slightly if you want to. And then I'm going to use dimensionals to go on the back to lift it up. Now what I like to do is I like to have a solid run of dimensionals across, so I use the edge parts of my 3D dimensional pads. So I'll get another pack here because I've used them all on that one already. and I just peel them all off like that, and then cut them for the lengths that I need, so I don't waste anything. I'm just going to rip them, pop that on there, that on there, that one there, and then any areas that I think might need a little bit more support, just to make sure that it stays up. And then make sure my mushrooms are facing the right way up, so that the box, you know which way the box is. Okay. There you have a little 3D 1.5 inch deep box for you to put anything in. You can carry on and make a little gift tag if you wanted, using some of the leftover pieces of card that we've got here. So for example, on this box I used a little one of the new die cuts, and actually went round the edge to create a 3D image. But there's your little box. Other examples we have would be that one and that one there. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, then please come back to me. Many thanks. Happy crafting. Bye.